Hello and welcome to our next episode of coverage of the 2021 Tuner's Edge Drag Battle held at Cootamundra Airport. In our last episode, we took a closer look at the all-wheel drive competitors. This time around, we're looking at the two-wheel drive competitors as they struggle for traction on the runway surface. Let's go.
Andrew Hannison flew the flag for the Motorsports Mechanical Red Army with two entrants into the Tuner's Edge Drag Battle. His proven 7-second streetcar Supra King 2JZ and his new turbo Kswap Honda NSX. His Supra, to be summed up in one word, is incredible. It is one of the most complete and cleanest streetcar builds in the country. The interior has a show-winning retrim, but also caged and teched to go drag racing. The custom Motec dash looks awesome, moulded into the dash cluster, replacing the factory instruments. On the outside, it's a TRD wing and world racing wheels wrapped in ET Street Rs. The engine bay is a masterpiece with the dry sump 2JZ with billet covers running a precision 7685 to make 1300 horsepower on over 50 psi thanks to the Haltech Elite 2500 ECU. There is a Hypertune intercooler and inlet manifold and fuel rails, and it runs a turbo 400 transmission. The car wasn't playing ball at this year's event, so it didn't run any decent numbers, but it still has the 6-cylinder two-wheel drive record at Cootamundra, having previously run a 9.3. The NSX was a recent purchase and the build wasn't finished cosmetically, and the buddy clubs wrapped in drag radials were thrown on, as even with stock internals, the turbo K20 needs them thanks to a precision 6466 turbo strapped to the side. It runs a water-to-air intercooler in the boot and is controlled by a Haltech Elite 2500. It may have less than 400 horsepower, but with a quasi-sequential gearbox, it's still pretty quick. Expect big things from this car in the future once the engine is built and Andrew runs his magic touch over the interior and exterior. Next up, another turbo K-Series powered Honda, but with the power going to the front wheels. Luke Beach brought along his Integra Type R. The interior and exterior are a bit, well, used. But pop the hood and you see it means business. With a built K-Series and a precision 6466 turbocharger with Honda ECU that makes 500 horsepower at the wheels without raising a sweat. Pereira Motorsport bought Dang's XR6 Turbo. It's styled more like a Japanese car both on the outside and on the inside with Recaro seats, although the shifter for the Turbo 400 box is pure Aussie muscle. Under the hood, the mighty Barras is forged and runs a Garrett GTX 4202 with a Process West inlet manifold and a Haltech plug-and-play ECU to make over 1,000 horsepower. Hard to harness at Cootamundra Airport. There was no missing Elliott's R31 Skyline at Cootamundra with its custom paint job and billet wheels wrapped in drag radials. Pop the hood and the Shoalhaven LS Tuning and Performance built and tuned L98 more than backs up it looks. It has a Garrett GTX 4202 turbo strapped to the side with Turbo Smart external wastegate and blow-off valve. The stock ECU is retuned and it makes over 800 rear wheel horsepower on only 13 psi through a 2-speed power glide. Inside, the car is nice and neat and caged with a race pack dash. Next up is our own Toyota Supra that we thought we'd throw in the mix. Mods are basic with just a Golby's Racing Parts downpipe, FTP hard piping kit, and an ECU tech tuned by Croydon Racing Developments to make over 100 horsepower more than stock with 420 at the hubs. When hitting the strip, it runs 305 Street SS drag radials under the back on the factory 19-inch wheels. We also let Susie have her very first attempt at drag racing. An 11-second slip on her first ever pass is pretty damn good.
And that's it, yeah!
Next is some more Barra power with Daniel Marrick's FPV 4.6 from Precision Racing. Drag wheels wrapped in ET Street Rs and frontrunners that fit over the Brembos are cool, and inside is red leather, some carbon and Haltech IC7 dash. Under the hood, the Barra uses a Garrett-based 67mm turbo with Plasmaman intercooler and inlet manifold, and thanks to the Haltech ECU plug and play, makes over 700 horsepower through the Turbo 400 gearbox. Into the 10s now. First up, George's VE SS Ute from the Precision Racing Camp. Built 6-litre LQ9 with a monster Garrett GTX 55 strapped to the side means it makes over 1,000 horsepower on 18 psi with ease. A custom Turbo 400 transfers the power to the billet wheels wrapped in drag radials. Inside, it's Sparco seats, Motec dash and a B&M shifter. Another car from the Precision Army is Steve Zamett's XR6 Turbo Ute. Built Barra with a ProCharge 76mm turbo, Plasmaman intercooler, Turbo Smart blow-off valve and a Haltech ECU, making over 1,000 horsepower via the Precision Racing built ZF automatic transmission. Sparco seats and Motec dash inside and drag radials under the back to try and put the power down. Although it's run single digits at the track, Cootamundra runway is always a challenge for rear-wheel drive use. The quickest V8 two-wheel drive at the 2021 Tuner's Edge Drag Battle was Matthew Phillips' HSV R8 Maloo Ute from Russo Performance. Aftermarket headers and exhaust, upgraded LSA supercharger and retuned on E85, it makes over 1,000 horsepower. It still runs the factory brakes up front, but smaller brakes up the back to fit the 15-inch billet specialty wheels wrapped in ET Street Rs. Inside, the B&M shifter for the Turbo 400 gearbox is all that gives the game away. The quickest six-cylinder two-wheel drive at this year's event was Kyle's Toyota Cressida from DC Tuning. Billet frontrunners, drag radials under the back and the drag wing give the game away on what was once a sleeper. Inside, it's all business with a cage and Kirky seats as well as a Howtech dash. Under the hood, all business as well. 2JZ GTE with a Precision 6870, Plasmaman intercooler and some nitrous, all controlled by a Howtech PS2000, and it makes 900 wheel horsepower through a 2-speed power glide. The battle for quickest four-cylinder two-wheel drive was between the Kswap Toyota MR2s. A new MR2 joined the fight this event, Goran's Red Rocket, tuned by Just Engine Management. The engine bay is a class act, with Precision 6870 turbo with a Turbo Smart external wastegate, Skunk 2 inlet manifold and a Howtech Elite 1500 controlling the show to the tune of 920 wheel horsepower. A Quaife sequential transmission sends it to the billet wheels wrapped in drag radials. It was the car's first time out, but it held its own at Cootamundra Airport. The quickest four-cylinder two-wheel drive was the reigning two-wheel drive record holder, Adrian Pasman, in his BYP built and tuned Toyota MR2. The built K24 runs a precision 6870 with nitrous, Skunk 2 inlet manifold and a Honda ECU to make 950 horsepower. It uses a Quaife sequential and the car has now been fitted with the cage inside as well. Billet 15-inch wheels up the back are wrapped in drag radials. Adrian wasn't able to get the revised setup as dialed in as he would like to match his PB of 8.7, but he still took a commanding win. At the end of the weekend, this is how the leaderboard looked for the two-wheel drives.
That brings us to the end of our 2021 Tuner's Edge Drag Battle coverage. If you want some more Cootamundra Airport action, we have coverage of the Muscle Car Challenge on the YouTube channel Motive Muscle Cars. Now we look to Runway Thrash in September to see if any more records can be broken at Cootamundra Airport in 2021. Entries are open to any road registered car that meets our safety rules and spots are filling up fast. Head to our website for more info and to enter. If you can't make it, then stay tuned to our channel for more action. See you next time.